Welcome to Something Crunchy. Tyler is homies with Blake. Blake is the older bro of Blair. Blair is married to Tyler and is a slutty slut.
Welcome to Something Crunchy.
What the hell is crunchy?
Welcome to Something Crunchy.
All right, back in the studio with Tyler D and Remember B. Let's put him up.
Coco.
What are we feeling tonight?
Man, I am pumped for the continuation of Crunchtober.
Oh my god, yes.
Crunchtober
please.
continues. I'm excited. We got a good one tonight. And we're going to start with a new segment. We're going to be talking a lot about horror movies tonight.
Yes.
And I feel like we needed something to get our brains going, get you thinking about some movies. Tonight we're trying out a new segment, Which Came First Horror Edition, where I give you a set of 2 or 3 movies, in this case horror movies, and all you have to do is tell me which one was released first. Simple as that. We're going to take you back in time.
I could dig that.
We can do that.
We don't even need to keep score. Want to go at a good pace? We have to move on to other shit. All right?
Okay.
Lots of food on our plate tonight.
I kept the movies pretty mainstream, but if you don't know one of these, just raise your hand, and I'll come over there and slap the shit out of you for not knowing your horror well enough. Okay?
Well, this is going to be fun.
Let's get started. Which came first?
Okay.
Scream or The Faculty?
Faculty.
Scream.
Tyler's right.
97, 99?
First of all, you're wrong. Scream was 96. Second of all, I changed my mind.
so
I want to keep
close.
score.
Yeah, I heard you just say gets the point as if
No.
we were now.
We're doing Chubs. We're doing the whole thing. I can immediately change my mind. We're keeping score. Tyler's up 1-0.
You know I'm in.
Let's do this. It or Clown House?
Clown
It.
House.
Blair's right back in it with Clown House. Clown House came out in 1989. The original It, 1990. 1 year later, way to go B.
That one definitely haunted my dreams first.
Your first set of nightmares was from
Yeah.
Clown House.
I definitely remember Clown House haunting him before Tim Curry then filled that spot.
Filled your void.
That was our clown round.
Yes.
Let's move on.
Yeah,
with
let's move past
a
that.
chub apiece. All right. Which came first? This is our first 3-rounder.
Ooh.
Okay.
1.5 chubs for this one?
No. Simply for one chub. Don't ever confuse it.
No.
Saw, Paranormal Activity, or The Devil's Rejects.
Devil's Rejects.
Put them in order of which came first. Don't just say one, Blair. Devil's Rejects.
Blurt one
Apollo
out.
13.
There's 3 of them. Why are you only saying one? There's fucking 3. Okay.
I already forgot the choices. I'm going to need those choices again.
A couple beers down. I only remember Devil's Rejects.
All I'm thinking about
Which
is
came
Tom
first?
Hanks.
Devil's Rejects. Steve Buscemi. I'm excited.
I'm excited.
See? Now you don't
Okay.
get why I've done this in the past. You've
Absorb.
given me shit.
Pay attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're here.
Which came first? Saw,
Yeah.
Paranormal Activity, The Devil's Rejects.
Saw. No.
You're going with the order.
Saw. Devil's Rejects. Paranormal Activity.
How do you feel about that?
Incorrect, Blair. Paranormal Activity.
Whoa. First?
Devil's Rejects. Saw.
Blair is 100% correct. 2-1. Blair's up.
Shit.
The Blair Witch Project versus 13 Ghosts. Which came first?
Never saw it. Blair Witch Project. In that order.
You saw 13 Ghosts
13 Ghosts?
with Matt Lillard and...
Is that the one where there's
Yes.
like levels?
Yes. You saw the Clear House.
Oh,
You
so
saw
that's
13
what I mean.
Ghosts.
Yes.
I don't want to hear. I didn't see that.
You just
This-
don't remember the
this
title.
was tailor-made for y'all.
Where
to-
there was like pops of like fire ghosts and like
Yes, Blair.
glass.
Yeah, that's the one.
the
You've
one.
seen it.
Okay. All right. And then what was the other choice?
Blair Witch Project.
I'll go Blair Witch first.
Just for fun. I'm going
And
the
then
opposite. 13 Ghosts.
The Blair Witch Project came out in 1999. 13 Ghosts came out in 2001.
Ooh.
You got that? I thought I got that.
Blair got that.
That would be. That would be.
Which came first? House of a Thousand Corpses or Hostel?
House of Thousand Corpses.
First. Yeah, I'm going to agree.
That's correct.
Oh.
House of a Thousand Corpses came out in 2003. Hostel 2005.
Nice.
Yes.
No blood.
No blood.
What?
Which came first?
Did I?
It's no
You
blood.
both agreed.
That's what no blood means?
I said it first. But okay.
You did say it first.
Just saying. Does that? We're not even like.
Mm.
What are we doing?
She
here?
wasn't
We're
wrong.
Just taking our sweet ass time. Or
She wasn't
like,
wrong. No,
I feel like if
don't
Tyler
like
said it first,
I don't like
he
it.
would have gotten.
No, if there's
a
only
chub
two
for that.
choices, you get your pick, then I get my pick.
Okay. Back to a 3-rounder. I want to know which came first. Give me all three here. Candyman, Tremors, From Dusk Till Dawn.
Candyman, From Dusk Till Dawn, Tremors.
Tremors, From Dusk Till Dawn, Candyman.
You're both incorrect for the first time. Oh, I guess you can only do that on a 3. It's actually
Wow.
Tremors first
did that happen?
in 1990, Candyman 1992, and then From Dusk Till Dawn 1996.
Tremors was 90?
Yes.
That's blowing my mind right
It
now.
I
is.
know.
That was the trick one there. Okay. Friday the 13th or When a Stranger Calls?
Friday 13th, and then When a Stranger Calls.
Yeah, I have
but
to
like
agree.
soon after, I feel like right after.
You're both like 86?
Once again, you're both wrong. When a Stranger Calls came out in 1979.
Best
The
cast.
original Friday the 13th came out a year later, 1980.
80, jeez.
That's
I
crazy.
knew they were at least
Just a
they
little
were a
before my
year
time.
apart though,
Yeah,
and release date. I knew at least it was close.
it was close.
Okay.
It was definitely close. Which came first, The Exorcist or The Omen?
Exorcist.
There's been so many omens.
Original.
The original.
Original.
When was
though.
it?
Original recipe. We're not doing remakes
Yeah,
or
I'm trying. The only ones I
sequels.
can think of are the ones that I've seen, which were the remakes. So I'm gonna say
No.
Omen first.
The Exorcist came out in 1973. The Omen released 3 years later in 1976.
Damn.
Felt that one.
Put them in order. Urban Legend, Jawbreaker, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh wow.
This is tough.
Yeah, it's
In
tough.
it's 3 consecutive years.
Take this one first.
And they're all pretty much the same movie.
Tyler's like, these are 3 different movies.
Yeah, no, just different casts. It's the same movie.
Well, half of it's about the same cast.
All right.
What was it? Urban Legend. Jawbreaker.
I Know What You Did Last
I
Summer.
know what you did last summer.
You're going that order.
I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's Urban Legend, Jawbreaker.
Tyler is correct and well done.
Wow,
That was tough.
very good.
Thank you.
I Know What You Did Last Summer came out in 1997. Urban Legend 1998. Jawbreaker 1999.
Ooh, well done.
It was in the peak of my movie watching
Oh, yeah.
career right there. That's like
See, I
sophomore,
knew you would be
junior,
good at
senior year of high
those.
school.
Yeah.
Knew he would be good at those.
By the way, I just want to mention to you both and to our listeners that I cannot be beaten at this game. That I could not have participated in this. I would have beat the shit out of you.
Think?
I don't think you would have gotten a single one on me.
You think you would have this like done and
Lockdown?
done, wrapped
I would
up.
let you two
Lockdown?
study first, and I would still beat you. So if you any listeners out there think
Ooh,
that you
that's
could
a
take me on
challenge.
in
Come at
such
the
a game,
champ.
That is a
Bring me.
challenge.
we'd have to zoom it so I know that you're not cheating and looking it up.
Oh, I like this. This needs to happen.
I'm just saying I can't be beaten.
Challenge proposed.
Which came first? The Grudge or The Ring?
The Ring.
Well, that's correct.
Boom.
The Ring 2002, The
Together.
Grudge 2004. Put them in order of which they were released. Carrie, Jaws, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas Chainsaw, Carrie, Jaws.
Flip that completely around for me. Jaws, Carrie, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Both incorrect.
Shit.
Oh my god, again. How are we both?
Ball.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre did come first. The following year, Jaws came out. 1976, Carrie.
Oh my god. So
3
okay.
consecutive years again. That's tough.
Both wrong.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 74.
Yeah.
That's OG.
And
Like,
that's
I
such like
didn't-
a 70s style horror movie too. Oh, that's
gritty.
That one does
It's
it
dark.
for me. That's where Rob Zombie
That's
got
so
all of his
good.
inspiration
Oh, I
for
get that.
most of his movies, especially the
I love them.
House
so
of Thousand
much.
Corpses.
The Rob Zombie movies are some of
Devil's
my
Rejects.
favorite horror movies.
Yeah, I like them. They're fun.
Yeah.
Joyride or Final Destination?
Final Destination.
You're both right. Final Destination came out in 2000, Joyride the following year.
We're zoned in.
We're on the same
We're
page here.
channeled in.
Better shut your bitch up. Bitch, shut up. Steve Zahn. The movie Steve Zahn Hot.
So hot.
Last week in our sexiest horror movies.
Dudes.
Was it from Joyride that he was nominated? That's right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
we
it
were
was.
laughing that Paul Walker is in that movie, but Steve Zahn is the one that sexed it up for us.
He's a real standout for me in
Got
this one.
Blair's engine revving.
So hot.
Put these three in order: Child's Play, Arachnophobia, and Pet Sematary.
Pet Cemetery.
Child's Play.
Arachnophobia.
You both are
Child's
saying
Play.
that.
No.
No, we're switched this last.
Who's got what?
Child's Play at the end for me.
I'm Arachnophobia at the end.
What's your order?
The correct order.
So I got a quarter pounder with cheese,
you said two pickles or no?
six-piece nugget,
You wanted the mustard?
Child's Play, Arachnophobia, Pet Cemetery. Blair, we start with you.
Oh, we both said Pet Cemetery first.
Okay.
Yep.
I then said Child's Play, where Tyler says Arachnophobia.
Okay.
And I have it ending with Arachnophobia, where he has Child's Play in the rear.
Totally understand. Makes you both completely wrong.
Shit.
Glad we have that clear, and you're both painfully wrong.
Child's Play came out in 1988. Pet Cemetery, 89. Arachnophobia, 1990.
Man.
Oh, see, this is right when I was born, and those are all
Mm-hmm.
terrifying to me. I just have like chills thinking about either one of those.
Sleepy Hollow or An American Werewolf in Paris? Which came first?
American Werewolf in Paris.
Man, you're getting good. I hate it when you agree. American Werewolf in Paris came out in 1997. Sleepy Hollow, 1999. I feel bad because I said we wouldn't do any remakes, and that is a remake. I didn't realize that. So one slipped. I'm sorry. I caught it. I caught
Changing
it.
it up on us.
I caught it. Misery, The Shining, Cujo.
The Shining, Cujo,
The Stephen
Misery.
King collection.
The King collection, yeah.
You know what?
Shining,
you know what?
Cujo,
That was actually
Misery.
accidentally done.
Really?
That was completely by accident.
Nice. Good job.
What was it?
Shining, Cujo, Misery.
Shining, Misery, Cujo.
Blair is correct.
Balls.
The Shining came out in 1980. Cujo, 83. Misery, 1990.
All so good.
Wow.
I was going to talk about Cujo.
Cujo.
Did you know that it's a human that plays Cujo inside of a dog suit?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It
If you
is.
see it now, if you go back and watch it now, it's 100% a puppet.
If you go back and watch it now, the movie is about like an affair and an uncomfortable marriage is
Yeah.
what it's about.
Yeah.
The first like half of that movie, it's about like an uncomfortable broken marriage and like it's weird.
Really?
Yeah, I tried watching that once like, oh yeah, I remember this being scary and it was like, this is
This is not what I thought it was.
this is weird.
I thought this is just about a rabid dog.
Whole different kind of scary here.
I couldn't get through the book because of all that. I was like, when's the dog show up? I'm
Where's
100
the
pages
fucking
into
dog?
this fucking book, and I haven't heard about this dog once. I'm only here for the dog.
Let's move on to a couple classics. Teeth or the Human Centipede?
Those are the classics.
Human centipede and then teeth.
Agreed.
Incorrect.
Wow.
Teeth came out in 2007.
I
The
should have
Human
known.
Centipede 2009.
They're both timeless. You never.
This won't be the last we'll be hearing from Teeth tonight.
Oh, I was wondering when we were going to get some more teeth in.
That movie could have come out in 77, 97, 07, 17. It's still great.
Vagina Dentata.
I'm actually shocked it didn't come out in the 70s. I feel like
Yeah, I
that's
feel
like
like
way
it's-
more
It's
of
more
a
of a
70s
77,
flick.
more of a horror.
We're nearing the end here. We have two remaining, and they're both threes. You got to put them in order.
Movie.
All right. Gremlins, The Lost Boys, Beetlejuice, comedy horror, theme of the episode. What's up?
Gremlins, Lost Boys, Beetlejuice.
Lost Boys, Gremlins, Beetlejuice.
Blair is correct.
Shit.
Gremlins,
On a
1984.
threesome?
Lost Boys, 1987. Beetlejuice, 1988.
Love nailing it on a threesome.
Name of your sex tape.
Almost did a spit take with my beer there. Just about lost it. Like, as soon as Blair said it, I was like, oh, shit.
She's totally down. I was wondering if...
No, I was just waiting
She
for
couldn't have
the
set us up
name of your
anymore
sex tape.
either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's all I was waiting for.
I love getting nailed against the
Like, I know
wall
what you
in
like.
a trio.
In a threesome. Yes, please.
All right. This one's for all the marbles. Let's forget about all the points that we've come up to here.
Oh.
Because I know Blair's spanking the crap
Yeah,
out of Tyler.
let's just, like,
once again.
It's like 10 to
Forget
2.
about
We
the
weren't
fact
even going to
that-
do the score anyway. So let's call this question for all the marbles.
All right.
All the marbles.
And Blair, I don't want to hear that you haven't seen these because I know that you've seen these.
Oh, I hate when you say those.
Hellraiser, Nightmare on Elm Street, Puppet Master.
Puppet Master. Hellraiser. Nightmare on Elm Street.
No idea. No idea. Nightmare on Elm Street. Yes. Agree with Tyler.
You're both incorrect.
She's going for the tie.
We're going to have to go for the original scoreboard because you both got it incorrect. Nightmare on Elm Street came out in 1984. I can't believe you didn't know that. Hellraiser in 87. I get it. And then Puppet Master in 89. You guys did well. You did
I feel
well.
like we did pretty well.
You did pretty well.
Blair
By the
got some.
scoreboard, I feel
You
like
both
some
got
of
some.
us did really well.
I think Blair forgot to mark a couple of mine over there because I only see 2.
Oh, no. That is correct.
He only got 2 chubs? There's no way.
You got more than 2.
Yes way. Yes way.
No way.
I know there's other people out there counting our chubs. You tell me if we're on par here.
Who's chub counting?
My accounting is correct, okay? There's a clear winner, let's just say.
Chub counting.
That got a lot more competitive than I intended it to be. You guys had some guesswork. It was really well done. Blair took a pretty strong lead. We're going to call Blair 1. And with that said, let's take a break.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for listening to Something Crunchy, and we hope you're enjoying the episode. It now pays to crunch down every week because we're hooking you up with big discounts from big brands. Up to 35% off Invicta watches using code CRUNCHY and apparel from 8080, where in addition to 10% off using code CRUNCHY, every dollar you spend goes towards an entry in their dream car giveaway. Don't forget to join the Something Crunchy Facebook group for updates, polls, and the web's crunchiest memes. You can find us on Twitter at crunch_cast, and feel free to send any questions and track submissions to somethingcrunchy@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the show.
And we're back.
I don't want to talk about it. Let's move on.
I was just about to say,
Moving on.
once again, Blair spanked the pants off of Tyler in a game.
That happened.
Man, and then once again, Blair's like, I just don't think that I'm not going to be very good at this. He has the advantage in spanking.
And I got to do the rest of the sub with my pants around my ankles. Fucking sweet. Thanks, P.
Yes.
With help of Best Life and Creepy Catalog, we are moving on to horror movie tropes. We have done movie tropes in the past. Tonight, we are doing it again, sticking to horror tropes.
The genre.
Horror movies follow specific formulas and have some widely known tropes.
Yes.
Any hardcore horror fan knows these movies are filled with the same elements over and over and over again.
Don't you know the rules?
What rules?
You don't... Jesus Christ, you don't know the rules?
Have an aneurysm, why don't you?
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie. For instance, number 1, you can never have sex. Big no-no! Big no!
I'm a dead man.
Leave him in popcorn. Sex equals death.
I'll be right back.
Whoa, he said it.
It's true. Sex equals death. And that's exactly where we are starting. If you lose your virginity, you're dead. This is a very well-known trope. One
What a
that
shame.
it was lampooned in Scream. Sex equals death. You know, and the same goes for the slut of the movie. No slut
Yes.
makes that alive. And I'm sick of this trope because it discourages promiscuous behavior.
Totally.
Examples include Rose McGowan in Scream, Rose McGowan in Death Proof, and Rose McGowan in Jawbreaker.
All correct.
She maybe didn't die in Jawbreaker.
She didn't quite die in Jawbreaker. She was kind of. She actually killed somebody.
I killed Liz.
I killed Teen Dream. Deal with it.
Deal with it. It's exactly why I waited until I was 16 to have sex, because I was afraid to die. I thought it was the gospel. Ripe age of 16.
I can handle this now.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's talk about Don't Go There. This is where everyone in the audience knows that just because the lead character heard a rustling sound doesn't mean she should explore some creepy dark room in the middle of the night while everyone else is sleeping.
Of course.
It's the most horrifyingly demonstrated in The Birds, when Tippi Hedren is the only person in the house who's still awake and decides to investigate the sound she heard upstairs, only to be brutally pecked apart by the hundreds of birds who are roosting in one of the house's bedrooms.
Scarred for life.
Yeah, first to explore, first on the floor.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Elementary.
Oh, everyone knows those.
If you don't have a gun, don't go in there.
And it's true. Every slasher movie ever, famous last words. Hello? Is anybody there?
Dead.
Dead.
Hello? Dead.
Let's talk about cute children doing creepy things.
Yes. The ultimate creepy. Just doing creepy kid things.
There's
it's
just
like not cool.
No.
It's just like don't.
Like clowns, there's something horrific about taking an innocent child and making it do something
so
weird
innocent.
and off-putting, like singing nursery rhymes while someone's getting decapitated 10 feet away. This is a great method for unsettling your audience. Cute kids merged with morbid circumstances is a modern horror staple. I think it makes you appreciate the roles like Georgie in It, where the kid just adds to the scare by simply getting eaten.
Yeah, but he's not like.
Yeah, it's good enough that the kid like goes down.
But The Exorcist, like, I mean,
totally different story. But that was like a demonic takeover.
That was still a cute kid doing creepy things.
Yes,
I saw that again at a very young age, but I'm like, why is this girl doing these awful things?
Especially to herself. I can understand
that
if she was
creepy.
doing that like
she
to somebody
possessed.
else, but like
How
to
is
herself.
That not a cute kid doing a creepy thing?
It's true.
I mean, anything like that is awful.
Characters always seem to run upstairs. Always.
Why they go upstairs?
Always.
Go out the front door.
In Scream 2, Sarah Michelle Gellar's character like bolts up the staircase to evade the slasher, leading to her untimely death. And that's kind of funny, given that in the original Scream, Neve Campbell's character mocks scary movies by saying they always feature some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be running out the front door. And this is a very tired trope. They always run up the stairs. Now, this has only been successfully accomplished in one movie that I can think of. And it's not a horror movie unless you listen to Something Crunchy episode 41, in which it was reinterpreted as a horror movie in the mid-season horror episode. And what I'm referring to, of course, is Home Alone. When he did run up the stairs, you're like, why the hell would he do that? But he has a zip line. He had an escape. There was a zip line. He had a plan.
Killers. Get the
like he knew what he was doing. It was the only time it successfully worked.
If you're gonna run upstairs, have a plan.
Just have a fucking plan. Don't just run up fucking stairs.
The Three Ninjas knew what they were doing when they ran upstairs. I can tell you that.
This is a horror, so I can't believe you just went 3 Ninjas.
If you don't have a plan,
kidnappers. That is horrific and traumatic.
Terrifying.
If you don't have a plan, at least be prepared to jump off of the balcony.
Well, right, because what else are you going to do? Hide under your bed?
That's happened too. I think that maybe it's worked once or twice where they did jump off the balcony onto a van or like a tree.
You better have a tree. Or else, like, what are we even doing? Going up those damn stairs.
Big brass balls and a tree. Something soft to land on.
Another one that drives me just freaking nuts is when the weapon is just out of reach while you're being choked. What's amazing is that it's only 3 inches from your reach. It's like when the condom is just out of reach when you're getting choked. It's super scary, but it gets old quick.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yes, just like that.
Just like that.
Great reference.
It doesn't matter. Like, even if you did grab the knife or gun or whatever, the bad guy takes 30 bullets or 3,000 stab wounds to die anyway. So
true.
just like
Spotted horse cannot be killed by a single bullet.
That's so true.
Still alive.
Ghosts only wear Victorian clothing. That's That's a pretty tired trope, and they always still do exactly the same thing that they did when they died.
It makes me real sad to see just move on a little bit, play some PlayStation.
Like fashion did change. I mean, a little something.
And they are always doing the exact same thing they did when they died. John Mulaney actually had a pretty good joke about this, where he says, "Is that they're always doing the same thing that they did exactly when they were alive." It would be nice to hear that the sweeper who haunts the movie theater applied for a position in management, got it, but that's just never the case.
That is hilarious.
That's discrimination. Just put that on the list of things that we don't discriminate against. The dead.
He needs to see his ghost manager, and it kind of reminds me of Beetlejuice, like how they have like the whole...
Yeah, where you wait in line, you talk to your death manager, and you're like, I mean, I did great this quarter, so I really feel like I should... be in this position.
I deserve the promotion.
Yeah.
And if we're talking about ghosts, they always seem to be writing messages on mirrors too. Getting a little tired of that. And they're always so vague. And they're always so negative. They're never like, good luck with the big presentation today, Bob. Or don't forget that you have hot yoga today at 4, Margaret.
Casper was pretty friendly.
He was a positive ghost. He was very supportive.
He was very supportive.
She's so defensive for Casper.
It's because it was Devon
Sawa. I was just about to say.
The only reason why.
You bring up Devon Sawa and it's a trigger.
Yeah. And Blair would love that butthole.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Perfect transition for the crazy girl that no one believes. In so many horror films, the heroine's suffering is compounded by the fact that no one believes her.
Gotta be crazy.
This is most recently illustrated in 2020's The Invisible Man, in which character Cecilia, played by Elizabeth Moss, is not only tortured by her psychotic abusive ex, but by the fact that even her closest friends think that it's all in her mind.
Oh my God, that dinner scene.
It's like when Blair's always complaining that we always call her a feral creature of the night, and we're always just like, it's just in her head. She's just cray. Or when your kid comes out doing some new obscene gesture and you just look at me like, where did she learn this evil from? And I'm like, she's seeing shit. That girl cry.
That girl cry. I don't know. That girl cry.
Well, she should have been more honest about her sex life. People would have believed her. No one believes anything from you, Karen, after you told us about how you blew the whole NHL hockey team. Now you're talking some mess about some crazy shit. We don't believe you.
No one's going to believe you.
No one believes you right now.
No one ever checks a house history before buying it. And it makes me sick to my stomach. Because before you buy a creepy old house, like you might want to check and see if there's been like a suspicious series of grisly activity in it.
So how many people have
and
died
whether or
here?
not it has a secret basement, cellar, or attic. Essentially half of all fictional killings are on like the real estate salespeople who continue to push the murder house on the market. It's like eating a sandwich Blair gave you and not checking to see if the bread is moldy first. Rookie mistakes. And these things can kill you.
If your agent locks the door behind you, you might be in a murder shack. If your agent fails to explain the blood-stained stairs, you might be in a murder shack. If your agent wants you to check out the mystery door alone, you might be in a murder shack.
No, you go ahead and check that one out. I haven't actually checked that one out.
I'm going to wait out front.
Yeah.
You check that one out by
I'm
yourself.
going to let you do a little walk around.
I don't go in the West Wing.
Feel free to take a look.
Almost all problems could be solved by self-service.
Oh my God.
Modern films try to get past this loophole by always having their characters in an area with bad service.
Always.
Realistically, most cell phone carriers have a wide range these days.
Yeah,
you can't fuck with 5G.
I was gonna say, like, they're actually pretty like reliable these days.
It is.
Here's what they got to do. They got to pull up the phone, do like a close-up shot of it, and then show cricket right in the top left corner. Like one of those
just so there's some context.
Yeah, so you know, like, oh, you're never going to get service anywhere. This only works downtown.
Even cricket today, I don't think you can get away with that. Yeah. But I suppose just texting the police officer, the killer is X, and I'm with him at address Y, followed by a knife emoji, would just ruin the dramatic tension of the film.
Yeah.
I get it.
And problem solved.
I get it. But you've been, able to get away with it all the way on our way to 5G, but it's here now, and now we lay this trope to sleep. The killers always use outdated weapons. I feel like we've gotten a little bit further away from that.
Getting creative.
Using a knife to kill a victim has an undeniable grisly cinematic quality to it. And it makes sense that a true sociopath would want to relish in its victim's suffering. But a hook, a chainsaw, a meat slicer, surely explosives would be like the easier way to go. And
just a quick explosive.
Killers
Do
move
the trick.
so slowly.
Like, I could outrun Jason or Michael Myers.
You can call an Uber and have them come and pick you up before Jason got to you.
It wouldn't work anymore.
Be at the end of the street.
It wouldn't work anymore.
Keep going like a street away. Keep an eye on like see what's going on. Your Uber
you know how many
picks me up, like, I'm
psychopaths have come at me downtown in the last 20 years that I've been hanging around places that I just like walked away. It's been really easy to get away from them. You just like, hey, and you're like, fuck, and you just leave. Like, I don't know what these people's problem are. Just get up and leave.
I realize that the part of the fear factor of, say, Michael J. Myers is that he really takes his sweet ass time. Everyone else is bolting down the street, screaming for help, and he's just there strolling at a casual pace with no sense of urgency, which sends an unnerving message of complete control in any situation. But it's still kind of ridiculous when you watch Halloween now and realize that much of this flick consists of a scary killer just standing around silently staring at things. You take away the eerie music and add Uptown Girl by Billy Joel, and this movie is about as scary as a box of kittens.
Totally.
If you play Truly Madly Deeply by Savage Garden, it's actually a playful rom-com about a secret admirer revealing his true feelings for a girl who friend-zoned him.
I'll be here waiting in the bushes if you need me.
Oh my God.
What about the evil doll that comes to life?
Of course.
They all do. They all do.
We all know the doll's going to come to life.
If you see a doll in a horror movie, you can be sure it's something far worse than an innocent child's toy. As with other tropes, it's over. I'm done with it.
Chucky was pretty creepy at first, especially because, like...
They even tried remaking it.
I mean, I was young and there was, like, dolls all over my room. And as soon as I saw, like, Chucky and all that, I'm like, oh, shit.
No.
That Furby that already creeped me out is, like, definitely killing me.
Your dolls came to life at night. You had some weird shit going on in your room.
There was shit that was going down in there when I was asleep.
Whoever wrote that movie was probably just sitting in their bed with writer's block, and they're looking around. They're like, "What the fuck is scary around here?"
Like that doll's pretty
fucking weird. Like if that thing started blinking and then jumped off the chair and came over and started stabbing me, that'd be pretty scary.
But it was scary once or twice, and now it's just overused.
Yeah, now
it is overused.
Same with like everyone that goes inside the abandoned buildings.
You would bring up abandoned buildings.
Yeah, I have a soft spot.
You're a big fan of the abandoned building, aren't you?
You're like, I've been there. It's fine.
Yeah. I would actually seek out abandoned buildings with my friends, like we wanted to be killed in some horrible way. A couple of us would go ahead of time and check things out, take our places in the most awful places you can imagine. Abandoned schools, churches, even this orphanage hospital place that just will forever haunt my dreams.
Oh my God.
But we'd spread out and wait while another person or two would go bring a group of people to come check this place out. And we'd make all these crazy noises and scare the living shit out of people, which I live for. But I probably got more scared than anyone we fucked with because you don't think about the fact that it's you alone waiting in this creepy fucking place for people to scare. And you actually hear some scary ass shit yourself. And it totally backfired and kind of fucked me up a bit.
That's exactly what I think about with like any time being alone. Like when people are like, and this is another horror trope, like splitting up. Like, well, how is that in any way? You guys, we should split up.
Split
it's like,
the group.
No, guys, I can handle
numbers,
it.
bitch.
If I find it by myself, I'll totally handle it. Like, don't even worry. Y'all just like
You take this tunnel. You take this tunnel. I'll take the one in the middle. You just never split up. Never split the group up.
No.
Guaranteed.
Somebody's gonna die.
Someone's gonna die there. No one ever listens to the pets.
The pets are always trying to tell you you're gonna die right now.
Pro tip: if your dog barks at nothing, or your cat suddenly drops dead, or your horse flees in a panic, evacuate the premises immediately. No one ever listens to Fluffy. Your pet freaks out randomly. It's dips for me.
Yeah,
Such an obvious sign, so frequently ignored. If you know the rules, you survive.
Pay attention
These
to
are
the rules.
On that, because the pets are so prevalent, why does every fucking cat have to be like the most frightening, scary cat ever?
Because cats are inevitably like,
it's true,
creepy. Like the black cat.
It's classic.
And they come.
Everybody's terrified.
And the random cat scare that well, they started making fun of that.
Yeah, they started to. But when you start looking at the cats, you realize that those like crazy beasts that they're trying to scare you with are like exotic cats worth thousands of dollars each. Like that's a Bengal. That's a Russian blue. That's $4,000 cat, and it just like got out on its own, and now it's some crazy wild creature all of a sudden. No,
learn about your fucking cats, man.
Love to overanalyze.
The cat scare is cheap, and like it falls under the like category of pop scares. And I wanted to use that as a trope because it is I guess in ways it's gotten old. It depends on how it's used, but it's always going to be used in horror films. It always will. It's just something that you can't really take away.
I hate that kind of horror movie though. Like that's not my like the pop scary like.
Saw fucked me up. That's the kind of like horror
fuck
movie.
with my head. Don't like give
the
me
first
a
one.
panic
After
attack.
you figure out the trick, then it's not so.
Exorcist fucked me up.
Yeah.
Exorcist fucked.
But that was because you were young.
It was, but no.
But Saw
the girl
was good.
writing "Help Me" inside of her, and then the spider walk when you saw that version of it, like in the head spin.
Exorcist was a different hit, but like I do agree. When I first saw like it was normal people, but there was like, oh, you're not like living your life right, and this is like what's going on.
It's a visual
and then
psychological thriller,
and it messes with your head. Like it was, yes, and Hostel,
yeah,
that shit fucked me up.
Which was worse, Saw or Hostel?
Taken.
Blair never traveled again after Hostel.
Hostel, like my eyeballs hurt after watching Hostel. Oh.
I think Saw went there first with like that torture porn.
Yep,
kind of variety.
The Gonzo torture porn.
Yeah, but Hostel was pretty rough. We were just talking about The Exorcist. Let's talk about looking good after the demon exits your body, because that's always ridiculous. Always has been.
You're
always
just like
will
beating
be.
the shit, being possessed, but now it's like radiant because the demons.
In The
left
Exorcist,
my
the girl is like nearly battered to death, but the moment the demon is gone, there aren't any physical reminders that she was possessed.
Yeah.
Not only does the demon leave, but everything heals instantly. This quick healing, while unbelievable and silly, is still so frequently used in the horror genre. So true. You look like a living corpse, and then immediately after the exorcism, it's like, sup, no score of the Laker game? You guys feel like going out tonight, or
who's ready for some shots? I feel great.
It's like the last 15 minutes from intervention, like before they go to rehab, and then like, you know, the 10 minutes later when they're 30 days into rehab, and then they
different
look
person.
100% different and better and all that. Yeah, that's where they stole that from the horror genre.
What about It Wasn't Really Dead? Want to finish on this one?
Oh.
Yeah.
Because this is just tippity top of the list for me. This happens in all movies, not just horror movies, but the trick is beloved by many filmmakers. The characters think everything is going to be okay, then out of nowhere, the killer is back up and chasing you yet again.
Yeah.
Just stop it. This is old as over the pants handies. It's so used.
We don't need it anymore.
It's so used as like Tyler's fleshlight from his old locker on base.
The community flashlight.
Good old trusty.
This trope is so old it gets back from the cafeteria just in time to catch Matlock before going to bed at 6:30. I'm so tired of this trope. I'd rather be watching The Traveling Pants of the Ya-Ya Sisterhood with B on repeat in Russian.
Ooh.
Ooh. Good twist.
This trope is so beat up and overused, it's like a Kardashian box spring. Okay, I'm done. Whoa.
Okay. Oh.
And I'm done. And you know what? I think we need another break.
Enjoying something crunchy? Follow us on social media and tweet us your comments and questions at crunch_cast. We encourage you to participate and thank you for listening.
And we're back. We're having a good time.
Good time.
That was fun.
Yes.
I want to move on. We're going to keep it horror, but we are going to talk comedy this week. Last week we went horror sexy. This week we're going horror comedy.
Love it.
And with help from Ranker and IMDb, I want to make the top 20 horror comedy movies. Something Crunchy's top 20. Can we do it?
Yes, of course.
Oh, sure.
What's like the first couple that come to mind when you think of like ultimate horror comedy?
Idle Hands.
It's so true.
Club Dread.
Idle Hands, 1999.
There you go.
Devin Sawa.
Yep.
Jessica Alba.
Club
Jessica
Dread.
Alba.
I mean,
Club Dread's got to be on there.
everybody knows how I feel about Jessica Alba.
Idle Hands. The main plot follows the life of an average lazy stoner, Anton Tobias, whose hand becomes possessed even after being cut off from his arm. The film's name is based on the saying, idle hands are the devil's playthings, or idle hands do the devil's work.
Mm-hmm.
Shaun of the Dead's got to be part of the list.
Definitely.
Yes, of course.
A lot of people would have this right up there. Martin Freeman, Simon Pegg, Shaun of the Dead, 2004 British horror comedy directed by Edgar Wright. Obviously, in a small flat on the outskirts of London, Sean, played by Simon Pegg, 30-something-year-old dull loser, must protect his girlfriend and the mother as the town is overrun by zombies. Got to see Shaun of the Dead.
Of course.
Also, there's Juan of the Dead in 2011. Shout out to Cuba. What's up?
What's going on, Cuba? Thanks for the good flicks.
Definitely need to see that one.
Let's take it back. Really, I think the first one I think of is Beetlejuice.
Of course.
Beetlejuice has to be on here. It has horror in it.
Such a classic.
And it's comedy. Michael Keaton.
So funny.
Has our hearts, of course.
Alec Baldwin. Gina Davis. Winona Ryder.
Such a good cast.
Catherine Hahn.
Catherine.
Tim Burton. 1988. Beetlejuice is an American fantasy comedy horror film.
Yeah.
The spirits of deceased couple, Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis, are harassed by an unbearable family that has moved into their home and hire a malicious spirit, Michael Keaton, to drive them out. You don't need that because you've seen Beetlejuice, which is why it belongs right in our list. This is going to make our top 20. Or for
Totally,
sure.
yeah.
Meanwhile, in the attic.
How do we feel about Tremors?
Oh, it has to be on this list. I mean, is it comedy?
There's definitely some comedy in there.
Definitely funny.
It's a horror comedy.
Even if you
I
don't,
guess that is what it is.
it's so unbelievable. It's funny. And it's supposed to be scary with monsters and all that, but it is
they have intentional comedy in there.
Totally.
Kevin Bacon, Fred Ward, Finn Carter, Michael Gross, Reaper McIntyre. It was released by Universal Studios in its first installment of the Tremors franchise. There's like 12 of them now. They're still making them.
Still strong.
The film was received well by critics and still holds an 84% favorable review rating.
Really?
On Rotten Tomatoes.
Classics too.
I give it, that's about right. I'd
about
say
right.
84 is totally good for the first one.
Yeah.
Like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They start to dwindle down.
By
into
7, it's like tough.
You're in the teens by then. Like that's a 19 on Rotten Tomatoes.
So if we're in this kind of year range, because we're talking 88, Beetlejuice, 90, Tremors, it kind of makes me think The Lost Boys. I feel like this would be on a lot of lists. Kiefer Sutherland, Corey Feldman.
For sure.
That's a Joel Schumacher 87 classic. But if we let Lost Boys in, we have to discuss Buffy. And then we have to let Blair have Edward Scissorhands. I just don't think that we want our list turning out this way.
No.
This is just not how this list was supposed to go. So
No.
I'm actually going
I
to
was
steer clear
into
from
it there
that.
for a second.
Zombieland. Now that makes more sense.
That's
Definitely.
funny. That's some funny stuff.
Horror comedy.
It's classic horror comedy. Emma Stone. We got Woody, Jesse Eisenberg, Bill Murray.
Yeah, they killed Bill Murray in that movie. Like it was sad.
Classic
but it was
horror
hilarious.
comedy. They made that so funny. Bill fucking Murray. No fucking way.
That was amazing. I was dying over that scene.
Zombieland is a 2009 American zombie comedy directed by Ruben Fleischer from a screenplay written by Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick. The film stars Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Emma Stone, and Abigail Breslin as survivors of a zombie apocalypse. Together, they take an extended road trip across the southwestern United States in an attempt to find sanctuary free from zombies. And it was great. That was totally fun. You got
the whole game around
Woody
that
Harrelson
we got...
looking for his Twinkie the whole time. It was fun.
Tennessee,
it was a different take.
Tallahassee.
I liked
It was a different look for Emma Stone.
She looked good.
Yeah, she was pretty Emma Bone
Everybody
in
loves
that
to
one.
see
Yeah.
teens with guns.
I'd bone
shooting
that stone
zombies
For sure.
around. I'd bone Tallahassee.
Sorry, Blair.
We talked about it enough tonight. Everyone saw that this was coming. Obviously, Scream's got to be on there.
Oh.
Yeah,
Of
number
course.
1 on my list.
Face
number
it,
2.
Sid.
Number 2.
Your mom's no Sharon Stone.
I have such love for Matthew Lillard.
My mom and dad are going to be so mad at me.
He killed that movie. That whole role was amazing.
He was like such a standout.
Cheers to Matthew Lillard.
Can we give
Just
one up
being
for
a
Matthew
staple of the
Lillard?
I'm down
90s.
for that.
God, we are just Pauly Shore, Matthew Lillard type of people.
We sure are. And he deserves it too, because that guy is awesome.
You know what? That
SLC
guy's
Punk
fucking
was
I
awesome.
was just
fucking
watching
rad.
She's All That and his whole dance scene. Just,
Fucking hackers.
it's still amazing.
I say we have like a salute to Lillard soon. Lillard's the shit. And Scream, Drew Barrymore, Rose
Yes.
McGowan.
Yes.
Skeet Ulrich, come on.
Skeet. Jamie Kennedy.
Poor man's Johnny Depp.
Wes Craven, 1996, is an American slasher film written by Kevin Williamson, directed by Wes Craven. Stars Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, Drew Barrymore, David Arquette. Released on December 20th, 1996. Scream follows the character of Sidney Prescott, a high school student in the fictional town of Woodsboro, who became the target of a mysterious killer known as Ghostface. Obviously, going to make the list. Biscuits.
Love Scream.
Top 3.
Top 3?
Top
For sure.
3. Easy, you know.
Where does American Psycho fall
Ooh.
in your... Is it in the top 20?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's got to be, right?
Comedy?
I put it at number
Comedy
10.
horror.
Comedy horror, obviously.
10.
Middle
for
of
me.
the list?
Yeah, it was great.
So it's
Loved
in there.
it.
I mean, Willem Dafoe, Christian Bale, that definitely had some comedy to it.
A lot of 80s themes in there, too, that were like funny and ironic.
is.
And that's what I love most about that.
There's definitely a lot of laughs. I think it's probably more comedy than horror, even though there was some violence.
American
Lots
Psycho.
of slasher.
Yeah.
Lots of slasher scenes.
Yes.
American Psycho is a year 2000 American neo-noir satirical psychological horror film directed by Mary Herron, based on a 1991 novel by Bret Easton Ellis. Wealthy New York City investment banking executive Patrick Bateman, played by Christian Bale, hides his alternate psychopathic ego from his co-workers and friends as he delves deeper into his violent, hedonistic fantasies.
It's like if Dexter was rich. You know?
Exactly.
It's true. It's true. Put Dexter in the 80s, make him super rich in Wall Street, and that's American Psycho.
And yeah, and then
It's
just
so
like
true.
If
Nice connection.
If he grew up and then got some sort of a list of what does he call it? His rules. Is that what it was? His rules or his guides or his guidelines or
Dead Alive is on a lot of lists, and it was already a big horror comedy from 1992, and it's Peter Jackson.
Pre-Frodo.
Exactly. It got, once Lord of the Rings came out, this thing got huge. It became a cult classic. Everyone loved it just because of the Peter Jackson angle.
Yeah.
So it really should be on the list, but I know Blair hasn't even seen it. You probably hardly remember it. I don't think it belongs on our list necessarily. It should be, but I think we should replace it with something that is more us. Let's give it up to our good friend Jason Ellis and maybe replace it with The Woodsman.
The Woodsman.
The Woodsman?
That's a great idea.
The little 2010 gem, The Woodsman.
Straight to
Devil's
YouTube
Rejects
gem.
had some comedy.
It did have a little comedy.
It did have a...
See,
A
you
little
can
bit of
always
comedy.
tell exactly how Blake's feeling about things. Did have a
Just a little bit of comedy.
That's what you call wearing your heart on your sleeve.
So, yeah, Dead Alive, I think we replaced that with The Woodsman. That that's a little iffy. A slam dunk should be Tucker and Dale versus Evil. That's also 2010. That should be a slam dunk. That's number 1 on most people's lists.
Really? I need to see this then.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil, 2010 American comedy horror film directed by Eli Craig. Tucker and Dale, two hillbillies heading to their fixer-upper cabin for some relaxing, are mistaken for killers by a group of clueless college students. That's pretty fucking funny.
I haven't seen that one either.
That's
Yeah,
like
I
number
need to see
1
this.
on a lot
if
of
it's
lists.
number 1, we need to see
Yeah,
this.
never even heard of it.
It's like
I'll see a
number
good comedy horror.
14 on our list, but number 1 on a lot of others.
Number 1 in our hearts.
A lot of people are talking about The Cabin in the Woods. That's the one with Anna Hutchison, Chris Hemsworth, pre-Thor. 2012. That was like an American horror comedy. That had some comedy in it as well, and it had some sexy parts.
It's pretty funny.
It made our sexiest list of horror movies.
Check some boxes.
It checked some boxes.
There's boobs in there somewhere, right?
Here's one we need to discuss. Oh yeah, we got a boob or two. The Leprechaun.
Oh.
Comedy, horror, Jennifer Aniston. 1993.
Checks all my boxes.
That was creepy.
I think it belonged. Like there's some funny parts in the Leprechaun.
Yeah, there was a lot of funny
a
parts.
creepy leprechaun telling jokes.
It really finds its stride by Leprechaun in the
Fits
Hood.
in this category.
Leprechaun 7.
That is not a real movie.
Oh, Leprechaun in the Hood. I think it was number 4. Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
And by Leprechaun in Space, they've again, it gets extra tropey after that.
That was 7.
It's a little played out.
Leprechaun in Space.
Leprechaun in Space.
You're lying.
I'm not lying.
No, you pulled that out
Those
of
are
your
both
ass.
real movies. Look it
I
up.
do not believe you.
Both real movies. Look it up.
People spent money on that. Like there was a budget for that movie.
Raise
The
your
Woodsman,
hand if you've seen
zero
Leprechaun in
budget.
Space.
Leprechaun in Space, probably like $200,000-$300,000.
I'm going to speak on behalf of most of the people right now that want to tell Blair, how do you not know about Leprechaun in the Hood? Like, of course that is a real movie. Like, I did not make that up. Leprechaun in the Hood. All right, so we'll let that one in. What about Warm Bodies?
Yeah,
That Teresa Palmer's got a warm body.
that was good.
I liked how that was done.
John
That's a good
Malkovich.
comedy horror. That makes the list.
You like it?
I like that.
The zombie that falls in love with
Yeah.
the normie.
Exactly.
Finds his heart. I love a good
It's
love
a 2013
story.
drama horror romance film.
Oh, love it all.
With some comedy.
Dramatical romance.
Dramatical.
Dramatical horrific romance. Let's do those.
Dramatical horror comedy. Scary movie? I mean, it's a parody.
It's a parody of a horror movie that wasn't all that funny, so I don't know if it makes my list.
Oh, it was funny.
There was
Are
funny
you-
parts,
Girl,
but
I
like,
got you.
In
You can to camera.
in 2000, that shit was funny.
that's
as
true.
hell.
That's true. Yeah, in 2000, it was hilarious.
By Scary Movie 9,
Yeah,
it
it's-
wasn't as funny.
No, it's been done too much, but it was funny.
I'm
It has
diluted to the funny
parts.
because
you've
if there was
just
only
seen
one,
it too
it'd be
much.
a classic. But because there was 9, it kind of lost a little charm.
If we're going to let that in, then we got to go with A Haunted House as well. The parody that they did for Paranormal Activity, because that was fucking funny. Marlon Wayans, Nick Swardson was in
Yes.
Oh yeah,
it. The newlyweds.
Chris Elliott.
Malcolm and Keisha move into their dream house, and they quickly find out they're not alone. It's just a Paranormal Activity parody.
See, that
and
was
it
hilarious
oh
when that
God,
came
that was
out.
funny. That's damn
That's the
funny.
one with the strong hand, right?
No, that's Scary Movie 2. Son of a bitch. Fuck.
We always
They're
get
all the
that.
same.
We have so many times, if you've listened to Something Crunchy in the past, we make this mistake all the time between Scary Movie and Scream 1 or 2.
I want to go right back to Mr. Matthew Lillard. Because Serial Mom
Always.
is one of my
Oh
favorite
my God,
movies
Serial
of all
Mom.
time.
Do you remember that?
1994 Serial Mom. Ricky
No.
Lake, Matthew Lillard,
We talked about this recently.
Kathleen Turner.
I've never seen Serial Mom.
Tyler James. How have you not seen Serial Mom? Classic.
All right, folks, we're going to wrap this up 'cause we got a movie to watch.
And it's been great. Have a crunchy evening.
This 1994 American dark comedy film, written and directed by John Waters, starring Kathleen Turner, is the title character. This is just, it was an awesome movie.
Yeah.
She's like a serial killer, just that's like a sweet mom that does it to like help her kids, and someone treats her kids wrong, and like they're done, and it's
Well,
funny.
you're dead.
You're
You
dead.
fucked with Timmy. You're dead.
You're dead. Teeth. I promised we'd get back into some teeth.
Blake would have teeth on this list.
Thank God we're back to teeth.
This 2007 treasure.
Huge fan.
This is like an American comedy horror film directed by Mitchell Lichtenstein. And it's, is she still a stranger to her own body? A high school girl student, Jess Wexler, discovers that she has a physical advantage. And
Advantage.
it's excellent. Oh,
To bite and wean? Like,
Yeah, what is the advantage?
vagina dentata is an advantage, and she clearly took advantage
That's
of
true.
it.
You just don't piss off that vagina dentata.
she got like the South Park deal where she just eats through her vag and poops out her mouth? Or
No, she just has.
What's advantage?
She has teeth in her vag where she could
What's
You just don't
advantageous about
anger
that?
she
You
could
just
clutch
don't
down.
anger it.
Yeah, you don't anger it. Or you
That's
get
true.
or you get the teeth.
You get the teeth.
Nobody wants the teeth.
It was on the other day I was watching some Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. I feel like that deserves like to be on the list
I
somewhere.
agree.
Ty Sheridan,
Comedy horror.
Logan Miller, that was good.
Yeah.
Definitely comedy horror. 2015, when bloodthirsty undead ghouls invade their once peaceful town, it's up to 2 boys and a tough cocktail waitress to save mankind and earn their zombie killing badges. And it's definitely worth a watch. I mean, that girl's smoking hot and there's some good laughs in there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Probably 90 minutes. Perfect.
Blair mentioned Club Dread, and if we didn't detail that, that has to be on there.
Of course.
Coconut Pete's paella, like
secret ingredient, coconuts, Pete, paella.
Hey, Coco Pete. You love these guys in Super Troopers and Beer Fest. It's the same gang that take the slasher genre in a very underrated spoof, Club Dread. That's awesome. Turn your brain off for this one and have a blast. And if you're going to let that one in, you got to do Piranha 3D as well. Talked about that last week. That was
another group favorite.
Yeah. Joyride. We quoted it earlier. Shut your bitch up.
That's pretty creepy.
And it's pretty funny. Steve's
It's pretty funny.
At least it has that one fucking line, which is, I mean, we quote it all the time.
Yeah, it's worth.
I love that.
Steve's on comedy.
Well, with a 74% on the tomato meter, I'm gonna go ahead and throw that one on the list. I mean, it was good. Yeah, it's a well constructed B movie thriller.
Is that P-Dub's highest rated movie? What do you think Paul Walker's highest rated movie is?
That's a good question.
Fast and the Furious.
No,
guaranteed that's like a 47.
Really?
Yeah, I bet you Tomato Meter hates that movie.
Varsity Blues. Everybody loved it.
It's true. Could be close.
If Varsity Blues doesn't have above a 90,
no way.
I'll never trust Rotten Tomatoes again.
60s, 70s.
What?
Yeah, 80 tops.
It's not under 70.
So what started this whole conversation was the fact that this new movie, Uncle Peckerwood, came out
in
2020. And it has a 100% ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, probably because there was like 3 votes.
Yeah, right.
And I've seen this movie.
3 for 3.
I've seen this movie, and I rate it not bad.
Not 100?
Not
it's definitely... No, it's not 100. It's definitely an indie horror film.
Okay.
And the acting and filmmaking improves throughout the arc of the film.
Mm-hmm.
And it is funny, and there is some horror, and it follows a band that is like booked like a handful of tour dates, but they need a van, and end up getting a ride from this guy who's turns into a monster at night.
Okay.
And eats people. And he ends up like kind of protecting them, and they say they kind of like him. He kind of becomes their roadie for the band.
Station.
It's worth a watch. If you have literally nothing else to watch, like, it's fucking worth a watch.
By the way, can I just come in with a quick fact check?
Yes, please.
Varsity Blues, Rotten Tomatoes, 43%.
Oh my God.
76% audience score.
Yeah, I was going to say 80
Obviously.
tops, but that's audience.
Wow.
Crazy.
How low can you go? We need to do a segment for like big love for low rated movies.
Yeah, where like you just love the movie so much.
You have
but
like
it
an
just
under
got, like,
50% rating on
That's like most
Rotten
of my
Tomatoes,
favorites.
but we love it.
Best under 50.
Or maybe even 35. We got to go pretty low. Make it interesting.
Oh, that is like my list.
It's going to take some research.
Top 50,
but I like that segment.
under 50.
Let's do some honorable mentions because that makes up our 20, and I like top 50 under 50.
Thank you.
I think that makes up our 20 there, but let's get into some honorable mentions along the way.
Okay.
I had to think about Young Frankenstein. That was Mel Brooks, 74. It doesn't have enough horror, but it does have the comedy. It's more of a comedy movie than a horror movie.
It's in the...
Your mom's a horror genre.
So is yours.
Of course, when your brother tells you.
Say mom.
Funny. Little Shop of Horrors. I couldn't let any musical on our
That
list.
counts.
You know how I feel about that.
It's a horror musical.
Exactly. This is horror comedy. Put that on your.
Does it count?
We'll put that on the horror musical list
plus
when we do
musical. So it's just like
10
an
Crunch
extra.
Overs from now when we run out of shit.
You're gonna love that segment. Blake's favorite segment: horror musicals.
Is there more than one horror musical? And please God, I hope the answer is no.
I mean,
oh, definitely.
Rocky Horror isn't really a horror.
It's not a horror, but
you know that there are some horror.
You're right.
There's some.
There's some.
There's some.
Gremlins on a lot of lists. It has.
Is it
I think
funny?
It's just, it doesn't have enough horror or enough comedy.
I don't remember laughing.
Yeah.
No. Dr. Giggles, 1992. I had to bring that up just because it was Dr. Giggles.
Yeah.
Like, love that movie. Taking it back to some cheesy movies from the 90s. That was just
It's got to be on the list.
that's just straight up cheese. Honorable
This
mensch.
has to be brought up.
Honorable mensch. Eight-Legged Freaks.
Pretty funny.
I mean, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
David Arquette. Honorable mensch.
Horror.
Supposed to be scary and funny, was neither, but kind of a little bit of both.
And if you're older than 40 and you've been waiting for the whole time for us to say Student Bodies from 1981, there it is, honorable mention Student Bodies, okay? Everyone's going to say Student Bodies. Why didn't you say Student Bodies? Honorable mention for Student Bodies. It was said. It's just not that great. It's, whatever. Let's move on to our track of the week. And these backstories that we're getting from the artist are really starting to get to me. This artist could use some love this week, you guys. After a house fire took his home in the UK during the lockdown, he's moved to France, where you'll find him completing his debut album in a full-blown studio setup in the middle of a 7-acre forest in Normandy. We'll use where this was originally laid down, out of South Wales. This is Jack Ellis with Small Change.
Dark, running blind to the excuses in your heart. It cuts close your love to feel this way when you feel like small change. You ride with luck out of home, and you know you are my favorite game. Cause I feel like small change. Undefined with no right when you're wrong. And you know you've known it all along. It cuts close your love till I'm deranged. Cause I feel like small change. You ride love out of home, and you know you are my favorite game. You ride love out of home, and you slowly hold me so I can't get away. You make me feel like I'm in chains. You make me feel like I'm insane. You make me feel like I'm deranged. You make me feel. You feel like small change. You feel like small change. And you make me feel like I'm in chains. You make me feel. I feel like small change.
Great track, Jack.
Yes.
It's cool to have our first track from outside the U.S., and it won't be the last. Small Change was recorded at Leadersville Studios in South Wales by producer John Constantine, and this track was written about being treated like the small change at the end of your pocket. Stay tuned next week when Crunchtober continues, and don't forget to send us any of your most disturbingly violent, twisted, fucked up, hard-to-watch horror movies that didn't make our list from episode 12.
Yes.
And you can send those along with your track submissions to somethingcrunchy@gmail.com or Twitter if you prefer at crunch_cast. And as always, don't ever forget to live your crunchiest life.
Be crunchy to one another.
follow, and all that crunchy good shit. Thank you for listening.
Just for fun. I'm going
And
the
then
opposite.
13.
Yeah, I'm going to go 13 goats.
Blair Witch.
13 ghosts.
That sounds terrifying.
13 goats. No blood.
No blood.
What?